The title of today's video was seeing your vision to the end and understanding, why some people get sidetracked. So it's never too late to get started. That's what we're going to hit today. As always, let me start with a quote. This one's by Napoleon Hill, and I'm going to glance at the screen and read it for you. Before success comes in any man's life, he's sure to meet with much temporary defeat and perhaps some failures. When defeat overtakes a man, the easiest and most logical thing to do is quit. And that's exactly what the majority of men do. Obviously, that applies to our women that are viewing as well, but that's from Napoleon Hill. So I want to talk about someone that had a lot of failure in his life. This individual started out as a farmhand, had a ton of jobs, so I'm going to list them real quick and then I'll tell you who we're talking about. So, jobs that this individual held: a farmhand, a streetcar conductor, worked for the railroad companies for a long time, a number of different ones, studied law by correspondence until he got kicked out for getting in a fight. Before that, he practiced as the Justice of the Peace in Arkansas. He operated a steamboat that crossed the Ohio River between Kentucky and Indiana, sold life insurance, sold automobiles, even delivered babies. He unsuccessfully ran both a gas station in his 30s and a restaurant in his 40s. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? I'll give it away. I'm actually talking about Colonel Sanders. When he retired at the age of 65, he made $105 a month. And so I hear a lot of people, well, I'm just, I can't get started in this business. It's too late. I'm too old, blah, whatever you're going to say. Whatever it is, you're wrong. So Colonel Sanders, the man that started Kentucky Fried Chicken, or KFC as it's commonly called now, at the age of 65 said, you know what, I don't think that $105 is going to do it for me for the rest of my life. It's just not going to be me. So in his life and career, he had two things going for him. He had an amazing work ethic, and then he also had the ability to cook great fried chicken and had a great recipe. We can all acknowledge it's not a really complicated recipe. He has 11 herbs and spices that he puts on chicken and then fries it. This isn't revolutionary. It's just what he does well. So he goes out and starts marketing it door to door, and starts knocking on people's, business owners' door. And he doesn't get his first yes until he knocked on his 1,009th door. So 1,008 people told him no. 1,008 business owners he sat with spent, an hour, and they said no. Even if he's doing 3 a day, that's still over a year before he got his first yes. So when you talk about, there's difficulty in the market, and I sent out 100 letters, I'm going to bring it about to real estate because that's what I know. I sent out a whole 100 letters and I didn't get one call back. Okay, well, send out 200. Send out another call. Go drive down one more street. You will find that success. So after 2 years and sleeping in his car so that he could save money and just on the hustle, we'll call it, he had a total of 5 restaurants signed up. And his big sales plan was that he was going to get 5 cents from every piece of chicken that was sold, which, that adds up after a while. I'm sure if you did the math now, that'd be a huge amount. But that was his plan. And so in the first 2 years, he'd only gotten 5 restaurants to say yes. I think in my business, if I had only had 5 successes in 2 years, I probably would have quit. And I'll just be honest about it. Colonel Sanders did not. By 1963, he ended up with 600 restaurants across the country. And yet again, that's only his basic recipe of 11 herbs and spices. So a lot of people are going to talk about, I'm safe in what I do because I call it the 40-40-40 program. I'm going to work 40 hours a week for 40 years for $40,000. And then when I retire, I'm somehow going to live off half that money in my retirement or my pension and be successful. I don't think that that's a really solid plan. I can tell you that inside real estate, in significantly less than 40 years, you can make that amount of money. And This is about dedication. If your business venture is something different than real estate, that's great. I'm not trying to seduce you over to the dark side, we'll call it, or to my side. But if you don't have a plan, you going to work every day is working for someone else, and you're making their dream a reality. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you need to go to work, and you need to work your 40 hours, and then you need to come home and you need to work 12 hours on something else in a week. If I'm working 12 hours in a week on something else, it's like 2 hours a day, and then you take Sunday off, right? So when you hear people talking about not having time and not having the dedication, that's exactly what this is. So I'm going to keep this one shorter, and I just wanted to hit home on Monday morning. Tomorrow morning, we need to go and say, what am I going to do to see my vision to the end? What can I start doing today that will lead me in the direction of where I need to go? Hey, with that, guys, I'll put some homework out because I love putting out homework. Think this week about what your vision is, and then put down 3 steps that you can do this week to lead towards that vision. If you need some support on that, or you need some help, you can hit me up on Facebook and give me a call. Send me a message on Facebook, and I'll probably send you my number right then. I can talk through kind of some business tactics of what you're doing. I can suggest some books to read because I'm a huge reader. My book I finished this week was Cash Flow Diaries by Jay Massey. So if you haven't read that one yet, that's this week's hit. I'll have another one for you next week. But hey, let me keep it short. Just to recap, you can be successful at any age. Colonel Sanders didn't start till 65. So if you're not there yet and you're not where you need to be, get started today. Make the effort today to get where you need to be. With that, guys, hey, I'll keep it short today. Look forward to talking with you guys and seeing where you're at. If you need support and you need help, I will be your support. I know a lot of people go home and, we might not have the support there, that they're like, oh, you're trying to do this one thing. Whatever that one thing is, I will support you. So hit me up. Let me know in the comments what you're looking to do. Let me know what your dream is, what your vision is, and we'll go from there. Rosalind, hey, thanks for the interaction. Appreciate you being on the show. Hey, have a good night, everyone, and I'll talk to you next week. Good night.